This interview is brought to you by Natural Ice. When you're drinking on a budget. By the way, if you drink natural ice, you are an alcoholic. There's no way around that. We have the band Hot Cousin in the house. If you want to just go around and introduce yourself, say what you do in the band.
I'm Nicole, vocalist and random instrumentor.
Fair enough. I am Charlie. I play bass and crack a lot of jokes.
True. I'm Jimmy. I play drums and I'm the icon.
I'm Bill. I play guitar and I sing.
So what's going on in your lives?
Nothing. We're getting ready for our 21st anniversary party show, and we're pretty focused on it, and we're really excited about it.
Remind me of the date. I did do the commercial, but I did a lot since then.
Remind me of the date. June 1st?
June 1st at the Hollow.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Bell is promoting, so we know it's going to be a banger.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah. Doesn't get much better than Greg Bell.
It really doesn't.
He's also been very good to us.
He really has. And we actually played his, I don't know what it was, 30th wedding anniversary party or something. It was like a big number, married very long time, and we felt super, happy to be able to play that party with his friends and everything. And we did that at the Hollow as well. And we like that venue a lot, so I'm excited to return.
Hollow's a good spot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
done a
it's
couple things there.
I like the downstairs. Speaking of basements, as I was just in this basement here while you showed up ghost hunting. I didn't do any ghost hunting in the Hollow basement, but I was down there. I was interviewing a band, and I was looking at the lockers that they have down there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, let's not do an interview. Let's do a drug PSA. So you walk up to them and you're pretending you're a student at the locker. Like, hey man, I got something for you. It was
Hey,
fun.
fellow kid.
I'm not gonna mention the band because it ended up being more of a pro drug thing,
Yeah.
but it was comedy,
Yeah.
right? So anyway, the guy who fronted the band, went to politics, and he requested that I delete it. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, some of the best content ever.
Hot Cousin will re-film that with you if you'd like.
I think it'd be better. I think we could do it better.
We could even do it in the basement at the Hollow.
Speaking
Exactly.
of politics, that's right.
Yes.
We're in politics as well.
We ran for mayor.
We run for mayor every year. Even when there's not every year we run. We have pins, we have an active Facebook.
Really?
Hot Cousin for mayor, absolutely. We have a sign in one Hot Cousin house that hangs out the window. Like, we're promoting it. Whenever you are ready, Albany, we're ready.
We're
ready for you.
Sweep that fringe vote.
Yeah, that's what we
Wait, do I have
figured.
I got my anarchy hat on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Team anarchy all the way.
No,
I mean,
we don't plan to govern, so don't worry about it. We just want the title.
well, a fun fact, every time I've ever voted, and being a registered voter who votes for themselves, like I always do,
Mhm.
to me that's saying, I do care. Give me better options.
Right.
And yeah, I always just have myself written in. I ran a campaign in 2016 and I actually got somewhere around 500 votes. And I started getting really nervous. They're gonna show
How do I
up.
win this thing? Right.
So-
I better get my platform together.
But yeah, if you're running for mayor, you actually got a shot.
Listen,
Mayor's tough, but for like a ward leader, you need like 16 votes to get that guy.
Yeah, right, exactly.
We might accidentally do that.
we had some write-ins. I will tell you, people let me know that they wrote us in, and we did have a platform, right? Like, just
What was our platform?
well, you can visit the
wasn't
Hot
aware we
Cousin
had a
Facebook
platform.
page if you'd like to see our platform. You can visit the Hot Cousin for Mayor.
Ramones for everyone.
Yeah, Ramones for everyone, probably skateboards and.
Also, the thing about the mayor from Jaws and how he was wrong. He was wrong against sharks, wrong for Albany.
I remember when Mason ran for mayor.
Oh, Bob Mason?
Bob Mason.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Bob Mason. I was his, I guess, co-producer at 102.3 for a little bit. And yeah, it sucks he's not here anymore. But when I first started working with him, he was really tough to work with. Like, I remember his real name's Roy Moon, which I think is way cooler than Bob Mason.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you just go with that?
I don't know.
Hey, it's Roy Moon. That's got a ring to it.
Yeah, totally.
But he went with Bob Mason. Bill Sheehan, I mean, that name was already taken, but I forget Bill's real name. But he was really nice. And Bob would just yell at you for everything. Like, you know, who schedules the music on this program? Nobody ever wants to hear Aerosmith Train Kept a Rolling at 6 o'clock in the morning. I agree with him on that. Actually, that's way too loud and noisy. Imagine waking up to that. But yeah, it was tough. Then he went to New Hampshire at the seacoast, and I don't know, maybe it humbled him a little bit because when he came back, he was the greatest guy in the world. Like, hey, Rob, you want to go out for a drink? I'm like, sure. I forgot that his schedule is different than everyone else. So he's like, all right, meet me at 11 a.m. at this such bar. I'm like, so you go there 11 a.m. and you're drinking with Bob Mason. They actually still had the cigarette vending machines, and he's like, hey. Well, I think I borrowed one too many cigarettes off of him, so he's like, I'll just get you a pack of cigarettes. It was great. He was a great guy. And it sucks. Yeah, I was trying to get an interview with him, to catch up with him. And then, of course, yeah, he's not here anymore. But a lot of good memories with him.
It was a different era in radio. I mean, is there anybody even like that anymore? I mean, to make a name, like to be a name as a local DJ in the Capital District, I mean, how many people have ever even done it, you know?
Yeah.
Just in these days, who even knows? I mean, these stations are largely programmed by, you know, a national parent company, and they get their playlists and they're being streamed from a satellite. And I mean, the local DJ is not even really a thing anymore.
Back in the heyday, I mean, and I wasn't even the original heyday, but during like the 90s and early 2000s, I mean, almost all the radio stations around had DJs in every time slot, and you know, people knew who they were. It's not like that anymore. And that's, you brought that up, that's my goal. I want to get to a point where we have the big show again. Like they did the breakfast clubs, and
Right.
you know, people are rocking out, thousands of people, 6 o'clock in the morning, and oh man, some of the activities that happen at those. We'll only do legal things, but that's my goal. I want to get there. That'd be cool, and have Hot Cousin come out and play.
I remember when I was in high school, first getting like my musical taste, it was on Pix 106, Ex-Con Ron was the DJ. Remember Ex-Con Ron? Like way back in the day?
I do not
Ex-Con
remember.
Ron.
That's a cool one.
It was a great moniker. It was fantastic.
You know?
But yeah, or Ex-Con Ron. And that was when they used to take requests. They could call in to the show on a Friday night and then have them play a couple tunes for it. It was a great time.
Real
Great
requests.
time for radio.
Because most commercial radio stations wouldn't really actually play requests. But, you know, you call up and you're like, hey, I want to hear this song. If we were already going to play it, we'll just attach your name to it. Make it feel special.
Ex-Con Ron played You Shook Me All Night Long for me one night.
I'm sure he wasn't going to play
I had
that
a
one.
babysitter. I had a babysitter is how long ago that was.
Wow.
I was home with a babysitter when my parents were out. And we called up Ex-Con Ron because we wanted to hear some AC/DC right then, and I'll be damned 20 minutes later.
I gotta try to track this Ex-Con Ron down.
Ex-Con Ron. That's a real guy.
Maybe he's a con again.
Pix
Oh,
106.
that's why we don't know where he is.
Yeah, maybe.
He
He's
is no
current
longer
Con
Ex.
Ron.
He's a recon.
So tell us about the band. You know what kind of music and what you do.
Well, we've gone through some phases, and I mean, right now, currently, we're mostly, we play covers. We kind of started with a focus on the 80s with this incarnation, and since then we've been playing them so long, we started running out of 80s tunes, so now we've started stretching into 90s and the 70s, and at this point, anything, we try and go for stuff that's energetic, that people know, that, you know, the crowd is going to react to, that everyone's going to have a good time, and every once in a while we try and sneak in something out of left field just to, you know, indulge something that we'd like to play, but mostly we're just trying to have a show where everybody has a really good time and enjoys themselves. So we're looking for stuff that people know and there's high energy that people like to dance to, and it's been working out. It's been working
Yeah,
out.
when we first started, we were playing, we call ourselves, we play the other song,
Yes.
where we,
B-side band.
right, like, we did The Knack, but we didn't do My Shore Not the Time.
Right.
We were doing like the other tune,
Mm.
which was fun, but sometimes you'd get crickets. You know, people would be like, I don't know that song. What's
Yeah.
up?
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like Bill said, when we kind of reformed, especially when we got Nicole, went with the '80s thing. But we play weird stuff, man. We're
We like to
all
play
over the
weird
place.
stuff.
Like we can do a flat out punk rock show. Like we have the ability to be like to morph into
Right.
something and be like, what's the vibe here, and do that. We like being weird. We've played some weird stuff.
I'm down with that.
You know.
It's not unusual to hear Wang Chung and Rage Against the Machine in the same night.
Or back to
No
back.
way.
Or back to back.
No kidding.
Yeah, we spread out. We tend to start out earlier in the night with things that are more pop friendly stuff, and it kind of gets a little tougher as the night goes on. And if you hang with us till the very end, we like to give a punch across the mouth before we.
I'm just
We
trying to
leave from
picture
the-
what you just said. Wang Chung and Rage Against the Machine. So I was like, dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah.
Everybody Wang Chung. Is that how that goes?
Well, it usually goes the opposite direction.
Yeah,
Oh,
Usually,
yeah.
it'll be everybody Wang
Yeah.
Chung tonight, and then we work our way into that first chord of Killing in the Name of, and people lose their shit. And
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played last time we played the Fuse Box. We did It's Raining Men and closed with God Save the Queen. So that'll give you an idea of what you just.
That's fun.
a little something
Yeah,
for
that's
everyone.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
And one of the things that I think we pride ourselves on, and this is something that Charlie said a while ago, and I just kept saying it, but well, I'm gonna quote you wrong. We play we're a cover band we're an original band that plays covers. Like is that what you said?
That's the
Yeah,
gist of it.
okay. Like,
Mm.
we process these almost in our own way, and then kind of put them out in a recognizable way, but a very cousiny way. Whether we use that as, like
It's our adjective.
yeah,
We're gonna cousin it up. We gotta cousin it up a little bit.
I love that about us because I think we're very surprising if you haven't heard us. I think we're fun no matter, if you just happen upon us. But also, I think if you go in saying, I'm gonna hear this cover band, if you're going in to hear Hot Cousin, you're not gonna expect what you're gonna get.
There's no real reason to expect that we should be able to play like It's Raining Men, but
Right.
somehow we make it work. And there's a lot of stuff that hits the cutting room floor that we try it and it just doesn't come together. It's a little ambitious. Maybe we don't have the instrumentation for it. I can't sing high enough or whatever it is. But there's a lot of stuff that we try in 21 years that just kind of ends up in the bin because we like everything between the four of us. I mean, there's a pretty wide taste of music sitting on this sofa right
Yeah.
here, and yet the places where the spheres intersect are also huge. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that at the core that we all like the same kind of bass music, it's all rock and roll. We like a lot of classic stuff, but disco, a little pop, a little punk, whatever we can drift
I love
into.
that.
We like all of it. So it's
We've
kind
done
of hard
Bee Gees,
to.
we've done Bill
we've done Bee
Withers, we've
Gees.
done Rage Against the Machine, we've done
Contrast.
Sabbath, it is a very. How many songs are in the Rocktionary? Did you look last? So we have a book called The Rocktionary. It's every song we ever played.
It's
Looking.
yeah. By the time we do the 21st anniversary show, we will have surpassed 400 different songs played live.
Okay, now you have to give the context for this. You give the research. Come on. You compared it to all the other acts. How many songs has the Stones played?
Oh, right.
How many have you two played?
I did look
We
it
crush
up.
all of them in volume.
I looked it up on Set with them, and it's like it is actually. I mean, again, we didn't need to write them, but
Yeah.
Yeah, they get credit for
But
writing
you
their
look at
material,
it,
but in
it was
terms
like-
of
it was like-
volume,
I was like, oh well, the Stones must have played more than us, and it's like they're only at like 320, and I was like, what? I was like, that's crazy.
We love learning new stuff. We love putting it out. We love changing it up. We don't repeat set lists. You know, if someone wants us to do a show, the first thing we do is talk about what they like and what they really, how to curate that for them. And we've played weddings, we've played, parties, like we're real big in the backyard scene right now.
Real big in the backyard party scene.
We're
Yeah.
really killing it.
Yeah, if there's a keg around
Yeah,
and a
there's a
table
keg
full
to
of
play
booze,
to.
you might want to call us.
Yeah, wear your outfit.
Yeah.
Have you ever played any of those college basement shows?
I don't think we had. I did with Upstate Hussey once, but
You did.
yeah.
It's an interesting thing, and they don't realize, like, when you come in and then they got this keg and they're like, yeah, it's $2 for each glass or whatever, and I'm like, fuck you. That's not how that works.
Yeah, right.
Stupid.
Yeah,
I
no,
will fill this.
we're playing parties for like 50-year-olds that should know better.
Right.
We know better.
Whose behavior at the end of the night is going to be like, whoa, dude.
They're texting each other videos of what they did. Yeah, and it's amazing. And let's keep it up.
Yeah, absolutely. There were
Let's
some
keep
of
it
the
up.
best gigs of these parties where everybody's just so in. It's fantastic.
I love like the break between. We're big in Del Mar lately. Thank you, Del Mar. But really appreciate you. I love playing Swifties, by the way. But we'll do a break and everyone will check their phone because they want to make sure their babysitters have not texted them. They're like, you are our people. Yes,
Right?
that's right.
Yeah, well,
But they're our age. I mean, Jimmy's the baby, but we're
listen,
in our 50s.
there's no youngsters that have a band that's been together for 21
That's
years.
true.
It's like in order to
It's
get to
impossible.
21, you kind of got to
Yeah.
be aging up there a little bit. But young at heart.
You can tell you guys are a lot of fun just by talking to you. So I can only imagine. I don't think I've seen Hot Cousin live yet, but that's going to change June 1st.
Oh, you should check us out. It's going to be a good night. It's going to be a really fun
I
show.
was checking out the wrong Hot Cousin. My cousins from out of state.
Yeah. Not the right one.
Barely knew them,
Make you feel funny though.
Does that count?
Any cousin looking is fine.
No, what's crazy was, so come to find out, my stepdad, growing up, had a daughter that we didn't know you had a daughter my age, and then she starts showing up every other weekend. I was like kind of like the hot cousin
Yeah.
scenario. Like, this is weird, man. But I mean, it wasn't my fault, right? It was like, surprise. Here's this girl showing up to your house every weekend who's gonna hang out with you. But no, we kept it cool.
Well, that's a conversation that always seems to start up. Every time anybody asks us what the name of the band is, and we tell them, it turns into this conversation. Well, I have a hot cousin, or everybody seems to have one. So apparently it resonates.
It does. It does.
When I joined, I begged for them to change the name because I am a teacher, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to tell students. Now I teach high school, so I feel less. They don't even blink when I tell them the name. But I was doing middle school at the time, and I was like, I don't want to tell them the name, and I was just, come on. And I remember you saying, no, we got a following. We can't we can't throw away that.
True.
We got
Well,
name
plus-
recognition.
Plus, we got to this name fair and square.
You
Yes,
did. I bet right.
Right before the first show that we played out, me and Charlie and our original drummer Dave, we got together at the Lark Tavern, and we all showed up with a piece of notebook paper that we had written down every possible name that we would consider, and we sat down and just started pouring beers and scratching them off the list.
Let me interrupt for a second.
Please jump in.
Just
Historian.
so we had gotten together. We didn't even mean to be a band. Like, Bill had moved back from Brooklyn, and we were jamming, and was like, hey, maybe Dave will do it because we got a rehearsal room. So we were doing it for a while, and our friend Kim 13 was like, hey, are you guys ready to play yet? And I'm like, oh,
Right.
maybe. Like, she's like, would you want to open for us? And I'm like, okay. You're like, well, when's the show? She's like, 6 weeks. I was like, oh yeah, we'll be good by then. She's like, okay. And then she's like, what are you calling yourselves? We're like, well, we're not. She was like,
We got nothing.
well, I got to put something on this poster.
It's true.
So then, back to your point.
Well, back to Lark Tavern, we're all getting drunk and just writing off names, and I mean, there had to be 200 names between the three of us, right? I mean,
It was more like March Madness. I would say 64.
60. All right, we'll say
Right.
64. It felt like a lot of names. And at the end, that was the last name on the page. We scratched off 63 names at least to end
Yeah,
up with
it's
Hot
like
Cousin, and that's just
Every pint we cut the thing in half and said, okay, what we got left here? I'll write down the Sweet 16. And
people either seem to love it or they go, huh? Yeah, all right.
well, they don't know what they're talking about.
I dig it. I vibe with it. And well, look at you now, turning 21.
21.
Wow.
a lot of years.
June 1st,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The Hollow,
Mm-hmm.
Guthrie Bell Productions,
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
and it starts at the normal time that show starts.
Yeah.
Yes.
4:00 if you're. I don't know. I think it's a 7, right?
It's a-
I think it's
7:30?
It's a 7,
Yeah.
7-ish,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Well, that pretty much wraps it up. Any messages of peace, hope, prosperity that you'd like to spread out to the world?
Oh gosh, Bill, you go first.
Peace, love, and prosperity. 2024. Come see us June 1st. The Hollow.
Hot cousin for mayor.
Hot cousin for mayor.
21 more years.
21 more years, exactly.
That's right. But if you're drinking on a budget, natural ice.